Is this on? No. Hi there, Dr. Rock here. Welcome back. If you are watching live, welcome. If you're watching recorded, appreciate you. We are back after a 1-week hiatus from Rock On Live. I was at my children's international fair shows last week. There were 3 different shows. So Japan. Anyway, you don't want to know different shows. Welcome back for my live stream today. I'm super excited to announce my new website. So if you check it out, I would appreciate it. And you can visit rakyourlife.com, Rock Your Life. And I'm offering now a 5-day email course, a free 5-day email course on my website. And so first, let me say, for those of you new to my channel, new to me, I transitioned from really what we call a standard American diet. It was rooted in processed food, in a lot of animal products, in fast food, things like that. I was a hospital doctor, and so I was taking care of adults admitted to the hospital. I was a hospitalist, and every day I was admitting people with heart attacks and strokes and complications of diabetes. And I couldn't, at certain point, continue to reconcile my choices. I had at that point 3 kids, and Father's Day is coming up, and I've been reflecting a lot about that, about being a father, and how really that was the biggest impetus for me to make changes that weren't natural for me. It wasn't natural for me to go, now I eat a whole food plant-based diet. Most of the time. I still incorporate some processed food occasionally, but most of the time I eat a whole food plant-based diet. And I love it. I wouldn't want to eat any other way. And that, I think, is the ideal state, where you are eating a diet that enriches your health and your longevity, prevents most types of cancer, prevents and reverses diabetes, prevents and reverses heart disease, prevents and reverses Alzheimer's dementia. We just learned this week, Dean Ornish and colleagues published landmark study showing dementia, which is plaguing our society, Alzheimer's dementia, that majority of the patients who got his lifestyle intervention, they either got better or they stayed the same, most of them, versus the people who didn't get the lifestyle intervention. In 20 weeks, most of them got worse. And so that is to say, that is the way I think everyone ideally should be eating, a plant predominant diet. The evidence, the research just keeps coming out. But how do you do it in a way where it's enjoyable and it feels good? And how do you make that transition in a way where, you don't, well, I like to say, don't make the same mistakes that many people make when you're trying to do this. So the 5-day email course is called the Plant-Based Mindset Toolkit, and it's trying to live your best life. If you're trying to eat this way, what are the 5 mistakes that you need to avoid? The mistakes that, honestly, most people, then it leads them down to a path where they will lose some weight and then gain weight. They'll feel guilty when they stray off their eating plan. They'll find themselves maybe being filled with regret because they feel like they're breaking a promise to themselves, or they're doing something shameful. So this course is designed to help you avoid common pitfalls and achieve sustainable health changes. So there are 5 mistakes that I go through, and you get an email every day. Um, you can sign up anytime. And I'm not going to go through all of them today, but I am going to go through the first one. Okay. Well, actually, maybe I'll just tell you the mistakes. It's not it's not a secret. You get them when you sign up, the first email you get is all the mistakes, right? Okay, so but now I'll go through the first one today. Okay. So the mistake number one is forgetting to reflect on your why. And why you don't necessarily need to, you know, dwell on that, but how it's important to root yourself in that. That's where the R in RAK comes from, is roots. Is to root yourself in your bigger reasons, because that many people go into changes without sort of knowing that, and that is really what keeps you going and pulls you forward. And so I think really having a deep dive and reflection on that. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But mistake number two is giving up your power to change, and why you blame outside factors for things you can control. So this is mistake number two, is falling prey to the victim mentality. And listen, I get it. There are all sorts of reasons why one would have a hard time making these changes. And there are some things that are outside of our control. But many times there may be things that we have control over and we just haven't explored it or done the things, taken the steps required to take control. Okay, that's mistake number two. Mistake number three is thinking you have to give up the food you love. And so, why really enjoying the process is the real secret to making sustainable change. Okay, that's mistake number three. Mistake number four is letting perfect be the enemy of good. And what the reasons why you don't take that leap and build real confidence. And the mistake number five, thinking health is a chore. And why the health industry has lied to you by making it so hard. Okay? All right. So those are the 5 mistakes. So today I want to focus on day 1, which is reflecting on your why. And that is understanding your deeper motivations. This is where I talk about my story and I say, I really connected with the fact that I was a father to these children, and that I couldn't reconcile my choices any longer. I had been making choices that were based on what I thought is, at the time, self-care, taking care of myself. And, my definition of self-care was doing things that felt good, that, eating things that were pleasurable in the moment, eating hyper-palatable food. That was what I considered part of my self-care. But really, that was a form of self-harm. And it was a trap. It was a trap because you feel good in the moment, but then over time you feel worse and worse and worse and worse. And it all caught up with me, sure. Weight had gone up, but also labs then showed that I had prediabetes, that I had high cholesterol, that I had high blood pressure when they checked it. So these are the choices I could no longer reconcile because, again, I was taking care of people in the hospital who were coming in with complications largely caused by diseases caused by the way that I was eating and living myself. So, in that sense, I ask all of you, if you're on your health journey, to just sort of, it can be useful to do this anytime when you're starting, whatever starting means, or restarting or ongoing. I often work with my groups and my patients to revisit their why or their roots because yeah, sometimes those things have changed, and also it's what kind of can re-motivate us as we're going through this journey, as we're making changes. Okay, so if you're watching, I ask you to sort of just think for a moment. Why are you on this health journey? Ask yourself, why do you want to make this change? And I actually think it's very powerful to write this down. Is write down the reasons why this change is important to you. And really in all you can reflect in so many different aspects of why it's important because you can reflect on who are the people that also benefit from you being in good health. You can reflect on the the life that you want to live, that is the vision you have for yourself, who is the type of person you want to be, what are the experiences you want to have in this life, what what areas in life do you want to learn or grow, and how do you want to contribute and serve in this world, and how good health can then support that. You see, my friends, that is the benefit. That is the reason why we should pursue good health. Not because we don't want to have disease. I mean, nobody wants to have disease. That can certainly be a reason, but I encourage you to think about all the incredible things that good health brings to your life and how it helps you create then the life that you dream of, the life that is so fulfilling that yeah, it just is a joy. So so that is the power of uh, healthy living, and that's also the power of this exercise, of asking yourself this, of reflecting on this, and then putting it somewhere where you can see it, like putting it on your bathroom mirror, putting it yeah, putting, maybe writing it in a letter and putting it somewhere where you revisit that on occasion. Uh, those are both things I do have done. Um, I think 6, 7 years ago, I wrote a letter to myself. Uh, maybe it was 5 years ago. I don't know now, actually. I think I have it. I used to have it in this drawer. It's not here right now, but it's probably in like a stack of papers or something. Um, but yeah, like 5 years ago, I wrote a letter to myself. I recently found it in this drawer. It's now misplaced, but I'm sure I'll find it again. Um, and it was really enlightening to read that and the kind of hopes and aspirations I had for my future self, and to actually reflect and say, wow, I'm actually doing these things. Like, I was yearning to figure out how to help people take control of their health. I was working in the hospital, yeah, and I was asking the question, like, how do I actually help put out the fire? Because you know hospitals overflowing. And it's not just that hospital I worked at, it's at hospitals everywhere, hospitals around the world, but really all over this country, they are overflowing. Emergency rooms are overflowing. And the 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 degree of chronic disease that is afflicting our society and the degree to which that is then creating so much illness, and our illness care system, our sick care illness care system doesn't have the capacity for it, and trying to build up the capacity, but that is like building, adding to a home. Let's say you had a home and you wanted to expand the home, and you start building a third and a fourth floor, but the foundation is cracking and breaking, or there isn't even a foundation. And so the best analogy I like is we are always going to need, this took a little turn, but I think that's okay. We're always going to need illness care. People are going to get sick. People do get sick. People break bones. People get cancer. People have heart attacks. And our foundation should be a healthy lifestyle and a system that supports behavior change, a system that works with people to really live their healthiest life and to do it in a way that is doable, sustainable for them. And a system like that is really centered around strong relationships and really understanding the patient's motivations, just what we're talking about. And imagine if your doctor and your healthcare team knew why it was important for you to be healthy. This is a conversation I think every healthcare provider should be having with their patients, asking them, why is it important for you to be healthy? Let's help you achieve that vision. You want to write a book? And you've noticed, that your memory is starting to, wow, well, it turns out that there's evidence now that we can reverse the signs of early dementia. We can improve cognitive function with lifestyle changes. So that needs to be the foundation. And it's not, I'm just being honest, it's not going to come from within the healthcare system, because there's incentive to provide more sick care for most people. There's incentive. There's financial incentive. That's how most the most revenue is generated, is providing services for illness. So more revenue is being generated, but you see the system can't accommodate this. Our society can't afford this burden, nor do we need to. There is a much better way that leads to more fulfillment for everyone involved. It doesn't generate as much revenue for the illness care system. And that's that should be our goal. That should be our goal. So anyway, all right. Little sidetrack there, but not really. All right. If any of this resonates with you, please feel free to visit my website. You can sign up for my new 5-day email course. Yeah, and you can learn about my medical offerings. You can also sign up for a free 20-minute discovery call with me to learn more about our health tribes, which are health education groups. We have 3 tribes now. We have a plant-based tribe, we have a heart health tribe, and my newly launched men's peak tribe. few spots, just a few spots left in each of those. So really limited space. But if you're interested, can visit my website. There's more information there, and you can make a call to connect with me. All right. I appreciate all of you, your time, your attention. If you're watching live, watching recorded, and I will see you back here next time.